Hey y'all, it's Courtney with Nurse Court Budgets. How are you guys doing today? So it is a Friday in January, and it's the second Friday of January, and I decided that I'm going to do a budget video today. It has been a hot minute since I've been doing any budgeting videos, and so I wanted to kind of get back on track for 2026 and do some budgeting videos again. So we are going to be budgeting in my Budget by Paycheck workbook from the Budget Mom. And I am going to do a January monthly budget. And then I'm going to update you guys on my debt, like my mortgage, which that's the only debt that I have, and give you an update because I made a big payment at the end of December and I wanted to show you guys what the current balance on that account is, and then I'm going to probably transfer it into this workbook. So let's just jump right in, friends. So it is January the 9th. You can hardly see the date. Those little stickers are so small, but it is January the 9th, and we are going to be doing our monthly budget for January. I know I'm a little late to the scene, but it's fine. We're going to do it and get it done. So I'm going to have to refer back to this probably and make sure I'm getting everything. And then I have a little cheat sheet that I also want to just make sure that I'm not forgetting anything. And I have my mock kind of monthly budget set up. So here we go. I'm just going to set that off to the side so I can refer to it as needed, because I don't want to forget anything. Well, you know, tell you what, I will just set it down here out of the way so I can still see it, but yet it's not up in frame. Okay, let me grab my pen and we are going to jump into our January monthly budget. So let me flip this guy over, and I think I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see a little better. Yeah, that's going to be better. And I'm going to get my calculator here, try to get all the things that I'm going to need. And I think maybe now I'm ready to go ahead and jump in here to this monthly budget. So for January, I am getting paid, hang on a minute, I think I'm getting paid 3 times in January. Let me just take a peek here. Yeah, I am. I'm getting 3 paychecks in January. Okay, well that kind of changes things a little bit. I didn't do my monthly budget for 3 paychecks, so it'll be fine. All right, so we're gonna do paycheck 1, paycheck 2, and paycheck 3. It's probably a good thing that I'm getting paid 3 times in January because I had lots of spending in December. So right now my budget paycheck $29, $21, $81. So I believe they call this a magic month. Now, when you're actually budgeting out paycheck by paycheck, I learned that it really didn't, a magic month really didn't exist because the paycheck here is going to cover a lot of the bills that come out at the end of January and 1st of January, and the same way with this one. It's going to cover a lot of the bills for the 1st of February. That really mostly that's the one that's going to be mostly rolled over into February, because I think this literally comes out like at the end of January, and then I won't get paid for like 2 weeks into February. So this covers like the first 2 weeks of February. So whenever you do paycheck by paycheck budgeting, I yeah, I learned that it really is not an extra paycheck because it goes towards the first 2 weeks of the next month. That's always the way it goes when you're living paycheck to paycheck and 2 weeks at a time, which is what I'm doing. That is life. So it says that I should bring home 8,765.43 for the month of January. So yay, there is that. So let me write down my fixed expenses. I have got to get better at tithing. I thought that I had everything set up on an automated thing because I went onto the app on our church's thing and I set it up for an automatic withdrawal, and apparently that did not happen because I got to the end of the year and I was like, oh, okay. I have not been giving like I thought I was. So, I mean, I'll be honest, I wasn't tracking stuff and wasn't keeping track of it very good. And yeah, so because I wasn't really budgeting much at the end of the year, like the last several months, I kind of lost track of everything and didn't realize, because I had set this back up like in the summer where I thought I was doing automatic payments. Okay, mortgage, and then we got car insurance. And so what's helpful is you can always look back at your bills when they're due. So that is helpful. I also, like, I have the cheat sheet, so that also helps me kind of know. So car insurance, water, trash, internet and phone, Apple Music, Apple iCloud, and that has gone up because I needed more space on my phone, so I had to increase how much I'm paying for cloud storage. Social subscriptions. I don't know how long I'll keep that one up in the new year, but okay, so this is where we are currently. The date, so let's see. Well, tithe doesn't come out on a certain date. It comes out with each paycheck. So we are going to say that would be the 2nd, the 16th, and the 30th. Roth IRA would come out on the 2nd. Mortgage, I always say the 1st. Car insurance on the 7th. Water is the 15th. I don't have these in any kind of order by date. Trash is the 8th. Internet I have is the 15th. Apple Music, the 26th. Yeah, that one's way out of order, but that's okay. Apple iCloud on the 1st. Discovery Plus, I have as the 17th, along with the social subscriptions, and then Audible as the 4th. Okay, yeah, I am all over the place. Okay, so that is all of my technically fixed expenses. And so I would need to, since I'm doing, and I'm kind of rounding up this year on my giving, so I am doing $300 a paycheck, so this should be $900. My Roth IRA is still $400. My mortgage, I am putting an extra $800 each month, and my mortgage went up to $1,610 due to increases in insurance, and which was in my escrow portion. So my escrow went up, so my payment went up. So I am budgeting $2,410 a month for that. Car insurance is $120. Water is $70. Trash is $31. Internet is $70. Apple Music is $10.99, I believe. Apple iCloud now is $9.99. Discovery Plus is $9.99. And then in the month of January, there's a social subscription that I have that I've been paying $19 a month, and I think I'm going to just pay for the year of it. And so I think it was going to be $160. And then I pay $2.99, so I'm going to say $162.99, because I think that will cover. And let me make sure that I don't have any. Oh, it was $165. Okay, so let me erase this then. And then, oh, and I also had YNAB come out, so I'm going to add that in. Okay, let me erase this. So that should be $167.99. And then Audible is $14.95. And then I'm looking at, I have my yearly subscriptions on, and in January I will be paying for YNAB as well. I don't know when that will come out. We'll just say the first, and that was $109. I'm gonna do YNAB this year, see if I like it, and then I don't know if I'll continue to do it next year, but I thought I would just play around with it this year, kind of learn it a little bit, and see if it's something that I want to do, or if I want to stick more with the actual written budget. So that is all of our fixed expenses that I know of that are coming out. And did I write down? I thought that I did in the front of this, but I can't remember. Yes, so I wrote down up here. Let me zoom back out so you guys can see. So on the membership and subscription page, I wrote down, so the Willow and Hive and the YNAB will come out in January. Then I won't have any more that I know of until April. So that'll give me a couple months without any bigger monthly bills like that. Okay. And so let's add up our total budget here for our fixed expenses. So 900 plus 400 plus 2410 plus 120 plus 70 plus 31 plus 70 plus 1099 plus 999 plus 999 plus 167.99 plus 14.95 plus 109. So that would be $4,323.91. So now we can subtract the $8,765.43 minus our known fixed expenses, $4,323.91. So that leaves us $4,441.52. Okay, and our variable expenses. So this is going to be for me groceries and eating out. fuel / car maintenance, like if I have to get my oil change, etc. Pet care. And then I am budgeting this year for personal, which is kind of more like fun money, whatever I decide to buy on Amazon. That's really what that is. Lawn care, which right now is not any. And gifts. So those are my variable expenses, and I am budgeting $400 a month for groceries, and groceries includes also household items. Let me zoom you guys back in so you can kind of see where I'm at. There we go. So the groceries will include household items such as toilet paper, paper towels, any cleaning supplies, whatever. So groceries is not just food. It's like groceries and household. I just throw, or anything that I need to buy at Walmart, that all goes into that. And then eating out, I decided to budget a little bit of money this year for eating out because last year I was having some occasionally. And then I think $300 should mostly cover me for fuel, car maintenance for the month. And then pet care, I increased that to $75 a month, just because I'm feeding Zoe some wet food in the evenings. She gets these little lickable, like they're broths or stews or something like that, and she loves them. And it's another way for her to get some moisture in, because cats often get their liquid in from food. And then personal, I've been budgeting this year $300. I decided to do that. And then lawn care is, I'm going to go ahead and budget for it. I won't have any, but I'll go ahead and just get in the habit. And then I've been doing $50 towards gifts. And gifts is going to be like any birthday, that kind of stuff. And then also I've been sending money to my nephew some, and so I'm kind of including that. I could give that as part of like tithe or giving, but I'm just going to include that probably in the gifts. All right, so let's add this up. So we got 400 plus 100 plus 300 plus 75 plus 300 plus 300 plus 50 equals $1,525. Okay, so we had 4,441.52 minus 1,525. So that still leaves us $2,916.52, which is very close to what my paycheck would be. So, but I had $300 extra coming out for tithe, and then a couple subscriptions also coming out that were extra. Okay, so savings goals. So I am saving $400 a month for savings. So we have travel savings, and new car fund, and I am budgeting $200 for each of those categories. So that is $400. And then I don't have any debt. So that is $2,516.52. So let me see. I think what I will do is just leave this, and I'm just going to put this in as, and I'm just going to call it buffer. And we are going to put that whole amount in, leave it in the checking account as buffer. So 2,516.52. And so that leaves me with 0 left over. So when I have a magic month like this month is, I learned that whenever I kind of do the paycheck by paycheck method, that really this is not going to end up being a buffer, and I'm not going to end up with that much left over at the end of the month. It's just somehow the way that it works, it always ends up, I have to use that to pay for the first, well, I mean, you can just kind of take a look at. So we'll take a peek at this. Let me zoom you guys back out. So to explain for anybody who is not sure, so when I go to February, which the calendar's not filled out, so you know there's that, but we'll flip back to January just so it'll make sense. So whenever we go, and the first 2 weeks of February, that's going to be, let's see, it's going to start on a Sunday. So I'm going to have, it'll be clear up until like the 13th of February before I get paid. So all of my bills that come out before the 13th on here include my Apple iCloud, my mortgage, my IRA, my trash, my Audible, my car insurance, and my electric. And so that's what I don't have on my, I just realized I don't have electric on here. Okay. Well, and this is why we are doing the budget. This is why, folks. Electric. I can't believe I forgot that. And that is due on the 11th. And it has been, I think it's been 162. Okay. But anyway, I will go back and I'll adjust this. So that would, cover basically everything up. So all of those big expenses will have to come out of this paycheck right here, this leftover that I get paid on the 30th. Or I think it's the 30th of January. I get paid on the 30th. And then all of the first 2 weeks of February, all of my big expenses for the month are going to have to come out of that paycheck. So that is why when you do paycheck by paycheck budgeting, you don't technically, even though you have like a third magic month, it's really not a magic month. All that to say. So let me go and erase all of these little totals, because this is not correct now, since I forgot to add in my electricity. I can't believe I forgot that, but that's, it is okay. It's okay to be human. Okay, so let me redo. So 900 plus 400 plus 2410 plus 120 plus 70 plus 31 plus 70 plus 1099 plus 999 plus 999 plus 167.99 plus 14.95 plus 109 plus 162. So 4,485.91. Okay, so 87.65.43 minus $44.85.91 equals $42.79.52. Then now we can subtract my variable expenses of $15.25. So that is $2,754.52 minus 400 is $2,354.52. $2,354.52. Okay, so that is the buffer into the account for the next month. So, okay, well, there we go. I think I got them all now. Let me just Apple iCloud, mortgage, car insurance, trash. Yeah, just the electric. I forgot that. Apple Music's on there. Discovery, water. Okay. So, but yeah, so this is because I get paid on the 30th. Then the first 2 weeks of, and you can see I have a lot of bills that come out on, so my mortgage. Now, what will happen is when we get into doing our paycheck budgeting, what I try to do is split out the mortgage over like 2 to 3 paychecks. And so that will make it not as much having to come out of this paycheck, if that makes sense. So, but yeah, so $24.10 plus $400 for my IRA. Apple iCloud is $9.99. Audible is $14.95. Car insurance is $120. Trash is $31. And electric is $162. So yeah, so I have over $3,147.94 that will have to come out of that. But luckily I will have some rollover from the previous paycheck. All it will roll over, and the whole amount of the mortgage won't have to come out of that. So, because I will be budgeting out a little bit each month, or each time I get paid, I will budget out a portion of all of these fixed expenses. So usually, like, I do half. It's kind of typically what I do whenever there's 2 paychecks, but with there's 3, I can split it out by 3 if I want to. So, but anyway, we'll get into that as we do some paycheck budgeting breakdown. So, okay, guys, so that is my monthly budget, and I'm going to have to update my monthly budget tracker because I'm going to have to put in on here electric, because I totally forgot to do that. I'm going to have to redo that. Okay. All right, so let's see. Let me now go to our expense trackers. I'm just going to get these kind of ready for the month of January. So I'm just going to say January. And this is going to be checking. And in case I need to, I'm going to leave it open. And then I am going to, let's see, so I have got a Chase credit card. And a Citibank. And then I have, and I don't always have expenses come out on these, so, and then I have, through my bank credit card. But just in case, so I will be doing expense tracking from my checking account, and then my 3 credit cards. Like I said, 2 of them I don't use very often. I use my Chase one the most because it gets Amazon points. So there's a method to my madness. All right, so what I wanted to do was go on here and so fill out the debt payment plan. And so I basically just have I'm just going to say mortgage. And we are going to take a peek at my tracker here and update this for you guys. So and that way I can transfer balances over. So my interest rate is 6.875. Yikes, it's terrible. The minimum payment that I have to pay is $1605.40. So I've rounded that up to just $1610. And then my balance right now, so I wanted to show you guys this. Let me zoom you in so you can see a little bit better. So when I started making my three large extra payments this year, I started out in January with my mortgage balance being $156,948.12. So my total, whenever I took my loan out on my house, and I've been paying on it now 2 years. I believe it's 2 years. It was 160 is what I took out. And so this is what I started with in January. And then this was my balance. I checked my account just the other day, and that is where I am at. So my balance is $145,057.32. Okay. So I've been trying to make $800 a month. So I guess I'm trying to get my budget by paycheck book kind of started here. So last month total debt balance would be this 145. $57.32. And the total debt that I started with was $160,000. And then we'll be able to see, oops, I'm bumping you guys right and left. So I do plan to make, so 2410 minus 1605.40 is actually $804.60. That's what I'm paying extra towards the principal. $804.60. And this is mortgage. Okay. And that's what I'm going to be paying extra each month. So it'll just be kind of interesting to see this go down. So I'm going to keep track of this. I'm going to hang on to this sheet and probably keep track of it here too. All right, guys, sorry for the little interruption there. My phone ran out of storage, so I had to do a little housekeeping on my phone and try to get stuff deleted off. So anyway, I was just saying that I'm going to keep track of my mortgage payments in my Budget Mom workbook and keep track of it here. But I also think I'm going to keep track of it still in my tracker just to see it each month come down. So I'll just add another sheet to this one once I get finish up with this one, and I think I'll just keep track of them both ways just because I kind of like to see it this way as well. So anyway, let me zoom you guys out. So yay, there we are. We completed our first budget with me for the month of January for 2026. And we did our monthly budget. We have our debt payment plan set up. And we have our expense tracker sheets ready to go. And then we'll be able to, I'm going to have 3 paycheck budgets to actually do this month. So I'll have that. Yay. So I'll get plenty of budgeting content in this month. And I think, yeah, that is it. We are set and ready for the month. Our budget category breakdowns are here, and I'm not using the meal plan. So, okay, guys. Awesome. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little budget with me, and I will see you guys soon in the next one. Bye, friends.